The Jaguars today cut wide receiver Christian Kirk. Some might say that is Trevor Lawrence's best friend, but he is out of here after 3 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he kind of broke the internet in 2022 with the deal that he signed for the Jaguars. I mean, at the time, it was a mega deal. Even though in 2022 he proved his worth with having a 1,000-yard season, but unfortunately, with Christian Kirk, the last couple of years just his Jaguars ended each season with season-ending injuries, right? And what really stinks is that in 2024, the Jaguars were about to trade him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he had just stayed healthy one more week, the Jaguars actually would have got draft capital for him, and probably that entire contract would have been shipped off to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it didn't happen. Now he is cut. The Jaguars saved $10.5 million from that, which is definitely some good savings. So that brings the Jaguars cap number. This morning, it was at $36.8 million, and with that, now it's at $47.3 million of available cap. So the Jaguars going to have some room to really work with when it comes to who they want to go after, what they want to do, because for me, I think the Jaguars are decently active. Now, maybe not overly active, but the Jaguars are about in the top third of available cap. Like as of this morning, they were I think 17th most cap. So now that's probably going to bring it up to, I don't know, 11, 12, 13th, whatever $10 million of cap saving gives you. So yeah, I mean, I think the Jaguars will go after, interior offensive line. I think they need a safety and a cornerback, I should say. But now I think the Jaguars might look at maybe another wide receiver. The free agency wide receiver market is actually pretty decent. Now, it's not full of young studs like T. Higgins or anything, but there's Chris Godwin, who maybe the Jaguars go after. Slot wide receiver, played with, of course, Liam Cohen in Tampa. His whole career has been in Tampa. I remember the Jaguar fans were excited about getting him maybe several years ago, but then I think they franchise tagged him or they got him a new deal. But Chris Godwin, his entire career has been spent with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Keenan Allen is another older guy that can play the outside. Amari Cooper's intriguing. Devontae Adams got cut yesterday. But one guy that's bringing up a lot of conversation is potentially Cooper Kupp, now that we have that slot wide receiver spot open. Now, what's it going to take to get Kupp? He is still under contract with the Los Angeles Rams, but the Rams have made it clear they're going to either trade him or cut him. But his trade value is basically dependent upon how much of a team is willing to take the cap, right? Like if a team says, hey, we're going to take 100% of Cooper Kupp's contract, he's gone for a 7th-round pick, right? But what might bring it up to a 4th or 5th-round pick is negotiations on how much of the roster and cap hit is this team going to take, right? So, with Cooper Kupp, I mean, good player when he's on the field, but he is oft injured. Hasn't had the best production the last couple of years, I guess, with the emergence of Puka Nacua and just with him getting, I guess a little bit older. But, that's a name that the Jaguars are linked to just because, of course, Liam Cohen has coached for the Los Angeles Rams. But also, James Gladstone, he has the relationship with him from the Los Angeles Rams. So we'll see what the Jaguars wind up doing. But now wide receiver is somewhat of a need. But, I think with as many kind of older wide receivers available, I don't think they're going to have to really break the bank for one guy. And we'll even see what Gabe Davis does. I mean, the funny thing is so I live in North Orlando. I'm 15 minutes away from where Gabe Davis grew up in Sanford. And I actually know a couple of people who know him personally. And I know Gabe Davis is actually, I've heard, and I'm not reporting this, but this is what he's told people, is that he was a little bit annoyed with Jacksonville last year because he had an injury early on in the season and they never really let him truly recover. It was once they tried to get him out there as quick as he could, then he was never healthy, never 100% healthy. He was slow, and then it obviously made his season suffer. So we'll see if he comes back with a vengeance next year. But the Jaguars right now are pretty much looking at Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, and Parker Washington, I think, as roster locks. And after that, Duvernay, Tim Jones, Elijah Cooks. I mean, that's the rest of your depth chart. So, yeah, the Jaguars are definitely going to have to address this and either free agency, the draft, or maybe even both. I know Ted McMillan is often mocked to the Jaguars to pick number 5 overall. It'll be fascinating to see what the Jaguars do. I don't know what you guys think, and be sure to drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys later.